63% of non-citizens in this country are on welfare. That includes illegal immigrants and legal immigrants, meaning green card holders. That's 4.6 million households. Trump has been very vocal about the cost to the American taxpayer when it comes to illegal immigration in this country, and he's consistently been called a liar, and a racist, and xenophobe, and all the typical labels that are thrown at conservatives in place of arguments these days. In this analysis, they use the latest numbers from the 2014 census. Again, 63% of non-citizens are using welfare, and it grows to 70% for those that are here 10 years or more. So that means that once they're getting onto the welfare, they're not getting off of it. At least, once they've been on it for about 10 years, that percentage goes up, which means they're not getting off of it. They're staying on it. Most aggravating about the study is that it does show that non-citizen use of our welfare programs is higher than the native population, higher than citizens of America. So what's Trump doing about this? Well, he's come up with a plan to keep non-citizens off welfare programs, or at least severely cut the numbers. The Trump administration has proposed new public charge rules, making it harder for prospective immigrants to qualify for lawful permanent residence, green card holders, or if they're more likely to use U.S. welfare programs. The Center for Immigration Studies said, concern over immigrant welfare use is justified, as households headed by non-citizens use means-tested welfare at high rates. Non-citizens in the data include illegal immigrants, long-term temporary visitors like guest workers, and permanent residents who have not naturalized. While barriers to welfare use exist for these groups, it has not prevented them from making extensive use of the system, often receiving benefits on behalf of U.S.-born children. This, of course, brings us to the 14th Amendment, which gives citizenship to any child born on U.S. soil. Obviously, this is one of the reasons that Trump has gone after the 14th Amendment. Another agonizing statistic in this study is that out of the 4.4 million people that are using the welfare system, nearly all of them have at least one worker in the house. So all of them have at least one person in the house that could be working, but they're not. So in conclusion, there are key findings of this study. In 2014, 63% of households headed by non-citizens reported that they used at least one welfare program, compared to 35% of native-headed households. So what we have here is a situation where American citizens are working their asses off to just get by, while people are coming into this country illegally and legally, and are basically just riding on the backs of the citizens. Another key finding, welfare use drops to 58% for non-citizen households and 30% for native households if cash payments from the Earned Income Tax Credit are not counted as welfare. EITC recipients pay no federal income tax. Like other welfare, the EITC is means-tested anti-poverty program, but unlike other programs, one has to work to receive it. So if they have to work to receive it, the welfare use drops to 58% for non-citizens. And don't get me wrong, I want to help people, but what's happening now is that this country is being taken advantage of. Our kindness is being taken advantage of, and it's got to stop. Another key finding, compared to native households, non-citizen households have much higher use of food programs, 45% versus 21% for natives, and Medicaid, 50% versus 23% for natives. So again, it's a very lopsided use. I am blown away by these stats. Including the EITC, 31% of non-citizen-headed households receive cash welfare, compared to 19% of native households. If the EITC is not included, again, that's the Earned Income Tax Credit, then cash received by non-citizen households is slightly lower than natives, 6% versus 8%. So again, we see that the Earned Income Tax Credit actually does help with this a little bit. I mean, it forces these people to at least work, or at least one of the people in the household. While most new legal immigrants, green card holders, are barred from most welfare programs, as are illegal immigrants and temporary visitors, these provisions have only a modest impact on non-citizen household use rates because, one, most legal immigrants have been in the country long enough to qualify. So they've been here long enough, all those programs are now open to them. 2, the bar does not apply to all programs, nor does it apply to non-citizen children. Once those children are here, even if they're not born on this soil, because they're children, the government's going to give them a certain amount of care, and of course that care is going to extend to the parents. 3, some states provide welfare to new immigrants on their own, and most importantly, 4, non-citizens, including illegal immigrants, can receive benefits on behalf of their U.S.-born children who are awarded U.S. citizenship and full welfare eligibility at birth. Hey, thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe. I'm doing this full time now, folks, so I really appreciate your support.